Today I'm having a look at a new series called 5 Under 5, which is for all things quadratics. So we're going to look at factorising, solving and sketching, our 3 skills we need to be able to do. So your aim is to try and get these done in under 5 minutes. So pause the video, have a go, time yourself and then check your solutions. First up, we have got a question where we are factorising and solving these 3 equations. So first we want to factorise this one. I can see that it's a difference of 2 squares. So I can say that's a squared minus 8 squared, which means I have a plus 8, a minus 8 equals 0 is my factorised version of that. That means I can then solve it and say that a, using my null factor law, that a plus 8 is equal to 0 or a minus 8 is equal to 0. So that a must be equal to negative 8 or positive 8. Then we've got number 2, 3x squared minus 12x plus 12. I can see straight away there's a common factor of 3, so I'm going to take that out the front. So I'm going to get x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. So now I want to factorise that, and I can recognise this as a perfect square. So I know that's going to be x minus 2 all squared, and my 3 stays out the front there, equals 0. Then when I'm solving that, I can either change that into a difference of 2 squares, but in this case it's simpler just to do divide by 3 on both sides, and that will give us x minus 2 squared equals 0. I can do the square root of both sides, so that gives me x minus 2 equals 0, and then I can say that x is equal to 2. Because it's a perfect square, I've got the same answer for both. Then I've got number 3, which is just a monic quadratic, where my a is equal to 1, b is equal to 6, c is equal to 8, so my AC is equal to 8, and my b is equal to 6, so I want 2 numbers that multiply to give 8, but add to give 6, so they're 4 and 2, and I can pop them straight in, and write x plus 4, x plus 2 equals 0. Using my null factor law, I can then say that x plus 4 must be equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So that means my x is equal to negative 4 or negative 2. For question 4, I want to sketch my my equation from number 2. So I'm writing that then as y equals 3 outside of x minus 2 squared. I already know that x equals 2, so that's my x-intercept. I want to know my y-intercept, so that is when x equals 0. So I can write 3 times 0 take 2 squared. Now 0 take 2 is negative 2. When we square it, we get positive 4 times 3 is 12. So I now have my x-intercepts and my y-intercept, and I'm going to do a rough sketch here. So I've got my x-intercept at 2 and my y-intercept at 12, and I don't have any other information, so I can make, like I know that because my a value is positive, it's going to be a smile shape. If I wasn't sure, I could sub in a value and say, okay, well, what's happening at 3, so I can tell, am I going up like this way or this way? If I pop in a 3, 3 take away 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1 times 3 is 3, so I've got a positive number, which I know then I can draw this shape. So you can always use an extra point if you're not sure. Lastly, I want to sketch number 3 by completing the square. So looking back at number 3, I had that x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. So by completing the square, I'm looking at those first 2 terms, so I know it's going to be x plus 3 all squared. When I expand that, I'm going to get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now I want an 8, which means I need to have a minus 1. So I can write that that is x plus 3 all squared, take away 1. Now when I'm solving that, I do have the option of doing the making it a difference of 2 squares, but I've already solved it back in number 2 anyway. So I know that I've got x is equal to negative 4 or negative 2. So my x-intercepts are negative 4 and negative 2. Looking at this one, I can see my turning point is going to be at negative 3, negative 1. So I just need my y-intercept. And so when I sub in x equals 0, I'll get 0 plus 3 is 3. When I square it, I get 9. Take away 1 is equal to 8. So now I'm able to do my sketch. Pens run out. So we have got our negative 2, negative 4, our negative 3 for our turning point. So I know that I've got my 2 intercepts there. There's my negative 1. I'll put my turning point there, and I know it's going to cross at 8. So I can draw my picture then. And there is my function. Don't forget to write the function on there. Y equals x squared plus 6x plus 8, or you could have written the turning point form.